What's up, man?
That's me. Hush.
Bless you. Where is everybody, Nick? This is getting a little ridiculous.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Justin.
What's on the agenda for today? We're the only two or only three?
Hmm?
We're the only three right now?
Yep. It's a little disheartening.
You'll have that, I guess.
Shit, I ain't got any audio. The speaker's not hooking up, I don't think.
What's on the agenda for today?
I'm just going to move forward with maybe a lab or two. Where'd Nick go?
He said something about his audio was messing up.
There he is.
My friend that's a contractor. He said he has a possible house rewiring coming up. He might want me to help my help with. I said, hell yeah, I'll do that.
Make some money.
Well, it's not even that. That too, but it's the experience though.
Mm-hmm.
He said he doesn't know if the house is gutted or not. Either way, you're gonna learn some good shit.
Right.
I think that's it. So I hope he does it. He said he'll sure have me help him. Thursday we're putting in a panel. A circuit breaker panel. So that'll be good. We had to drill a hole and install a garage light. That was pretty cool. We had to fish the wire through the wall, but it wasn't that far though. Couple feet. I think we only had to go a couple feet.
That is not fun. I don't like residential.
Well, I mean, it actually, because we took a little fisher rod through and pushed it up to the hole and then hooked it with another fisher line and pulled it out and then tied the line to that and just pulled it through. So it actually was pretty quick. It wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. He said the same thing, though. He said he hates residential, too, but he said he'd much rather do industrial.
Right. This is funny.
What?
Just the look on Nick's face.
I can't even see it.
Trying to figure it out.
I don't even see his picture.
You don't?
Nuh-uh.
Who do you see?
Just you. I don't see his.
Do you have the Zoom app open?
Yeah.
If you go up to the top, towards the right-hand side,
Oh, I
it'll
see.
say either speaker view or gallery view.
Yeah, I got it. Mine's done that before. What I did was I had to go to my settings and restart the whole thing. Chat was
Here you go.
here. Yeah, he's going. Yeah, I had to go to my settings and restart the whole computer, like do a diagnostic and then restart the whole thing for my audio to come back. I've had to do that a couple times.
Right. Well, it's just weird because he was fine yesterday.
Mine does it every once in a while. It'll be going good, and then next time I know I won't have any audio. Done it a couple times too.
We'll give him a minute to get back. What I'm planning on for Tuesdays and Thursdays is not to do much lecturing, just to let you guys continue on with labs. I do have a little bit to talk about with wire numbers.
Okay.
But if he's coming back, I want to give him a chance to listen in.
Yeah, Thursday I won't be on because I'm going to help my friend with that that circuit breaker. Installing that circuit breaker.
Okay.
I think that'll be pretty interesting.
Take your phone with you, and then we can sit in live with you.
I could.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think I could. Can I get Zoom on my phone?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try that out then. I have to make sure I got the code, the key written down. Hell yeah, I'll try that. I think today he said he's gonna drill a hole for the grounding rod.
Drill a hole for the ground rod.
Yeah, through the concrete.
Oh.
He said he wanted to put it somewhere else, but I don't know. I didn't really catch everything what he was saying.
Well, I guess we'll let him get caught back up when he gets in here. He can watch the video. So it's you and me there, Justin.
All right, sounds good. Where's Zach and Tyler been at? Have they gone?
I don't know. Can you see me?
Yep.
All right. Let me get the right lab up here. Good time.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Tyler? All right. So we need to talk about wire numbering. This is jumping up ahead to lab 3, but I want to use this as an example because it shows wire numbering. And actually, I need to take this fuse out. This fuse is not in there, but this is, so if the lab says A after it, the number and then A, that's for the setup behind me that I'll wire up in front of you guys in class and have you guys help me walk through it. And then when it says lab 3B or 2B or 1B, the B's are for you guys to do on your 24-volt trainer. And those will be your lab to do and then show me that it's working. And then from here on out, now that we're gonna do the ladder rungs. So what we did last time was this top portion, right? What was that? What kind of circuit is that? You got two different circuits in a ladder diagram. Remember what they are?
Hold on, let me see.
One starts with a P and rhymes with Schmauer.
Okay, power.
The other one starts with C and rhymes with Schmintroll.
Control.
Okay. Okay.
So you got a power circuit and a control circuit. And last time we did which one? You remember? This top part?
We did control.
No, that's power.
It was power.
Yeah.
What made it power?
Huh?
What made it power? Because we were just hooking the relay switch up, right?
Yeah. Let me refresh your memory.
You know, my focus was in and out yesterday, so
So this is yesterday, right?
yeah.
That's what you guys did. And you had what you're talking about are these little motor starter contacts that you did on your relay, your fake
Yeah.
motor starter.
Yeah.
But this is the power circuit because all we're trying to do, forget all this mumbo jumbo. All we're trying to do is turn on motor number 1. So this is the motor, this little circle,
Okay.
2 lines coming off. That's the motor. So that's on your trainer, that's that little 24 volt motor on the right hand side towards the top. So if we take 24 volts and put it on that motor, it's going to spin, right?
Yeah.
So all we're doing in this power circuit is we're taking 120 AC, turning it into 24 DC. Then we're going through a fuse with the positive lead for overcurrent protection. And then we're going through our fake motor starter contacts. So that's what we're actually going to use to turn the motor on and off. That's like our switch. Okay, those open contacts, normally open contacts, that's like our switch. When we close those, it will energize the motor, right?
Yep.
And then these overloads don't exist on your trainer. Those are the overload heaters that I showed you on that big motor starter yesterday. I have those on the trainer behind me, and I can show you where they're at. But this is the power circuit. The control circuit is going to be everything that comes after that. And this is actually what I'm showing you right now. This is jumping ahead a couple labs, but I wanted to use it because it shows you how to do your wire numbers. So coming off of your first rung, your first, whether that's, you know, this is 3A, so it's on the trainer behind me. So I'm using 120 volts to control everything behind me. So all I did was tapped into the power circuit on the load side of the fuse. So that fuse will also protect my control circuit. This right here does not exist. Change that. Okay, so the first number coming off on the left-hand side is always going to be a 1. And then 2 on my trainer will be the neutral. On your trainer will be the side.
What?
Anything leading back or black wire, right? So you have plus 24 and you have common or negative, right? That's what you're using to power your equipment. Follow?
Yeah, I hear you.
I have 120 volts, so I have a hot and a neutral. I have 120 and neutral. So my line 1 is going to be 120 volts. My line 2 is going to be neutral. Staying with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so line 1 is going to be a 1. Line 2 is going to be a 2. So 2 is always going to be my neutral. 2 is always going to be your negative or your return path back to the power supply, if that makes sense. From there on out, you go top to bottom, left to right, like a book, each rung. So this rung, I guess you call this rung 1 and this rung 2. So on rung 2, this first wire is still a 1 because it's on the same potential as all this. The next wire, you've already used a 2, so you're going to 3. And then you just go left to right. So the next one would be 4. Now, anytime if you have a wire that's on the same potential as anything else, it's always the same number. So, for example, if I take this and add another rung down here, what is this right? Is this number 1 right? Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
What number would this be?
Five.
That's right, 5. This is the next number. And what number would this be?
6.
6. What if I took another line and put, I don't know, another light in here. Parallel to pilot light in this rung. What would this number be?
Could be 2.
Right here?
Oh, not right there.
Wouldn't that be 5?
Is it on the same potential as this 4?
Also, it'd be 4 then?
It would be 4. So think of this as like a wire nut, right? It's not really a
Okay.
wire nut. This never represents what the equipment actually looks like. It's just how it's connected. But anything, when I say it's on the same potential, anytime this wire gets energized or there's 120 volts on there, anytime that's energized, this is going to be energized too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's always on the same potential. Everything that's on the same potential is the same number. So that's a 4. I know this looks messy, but that's a 4.
So if like that on the second rung, if the stop push button wasn't there between 1 and 3, that'd still be 1. Or it'd be
Correct.
3.
Right.
Okay,
So what
cool.
Tyler's saying is, if this was gone, and you just had this line going straight to the start button, this would not be a 5. It would just be a 1, and this would be your 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just an example. And the reason we do that is because, let me show you a ladder diagram. Are you guys taking troubleshooting in the fall, 151?
Yeah.
I don't remember,
so.
to be honest.
You probably are. If you signed up with me, you probably are.
Decent.
I signed up on my own.
Then maybe you are. Maybe you're not. Hang on, I gotta find this
I can find
ladder
out.
diagram so I can show you. So this is one you're going to be doing. You're going to be using this to troubleshoot one of our trainers called the drill station. You see the rung numbers on the left over here? I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah, I got 151.
So you'll see this ladder diagram in this class. 125 rungs. And you're going to end up with the biggest number wire is going to be 213. And you're not going to have to go through and wire all those. They're already made. But when you look in that cabinet and you see all these different numbers on these wires, you can look at this diagram and know where the start and end points are, right? So if I look in that cabinet and I see wire number 23, I know that that's going between timer relay 10 and timer relay 11. If I look and see a wire number 50, I know that's going between the power switch and the coil of CR12. And I guess the last thing that I'll say is, what if I wanted, let me find a better example. What if I wanted to add a pilot light that was energized anytime this CR20, it's hard for you to read, but CR20 coil, you can look, see where my cursor is.
Yeah.
Every time that's energized, I want to add a pilot light. But I want the pilot light on a different side of the cabinet. What do I need to do? Where do I need to tap into? It's going to be on the same potential as wire number 82.
82. Yep.
But if I'm mounting it on, if this is on the right-hand side of the cabinet, and I'm mounting it on the left-hand side of the cabinet, pretty close to TR3, and it's got a wire number 82 on there, couldn't I just grab off of that?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's another important reason that we number everything. And you're gonna, trust me, by the time you get to the end of this class, you're gonna want to be in the habit of putting numbers on as you go. Let's see. So that's lab 3A. I'm going to jump back to if you did lab 1, you did the power circuit. Lab 2 then is going to be a little bit of control, and some or all of you might have this done already. But what I want you to do is go through and put wire numbers on. And from here on out, when you do a lab, and I want to see it. If you can point your camera to it and show me that the lab is working, and show me your numbers.
All right.
If I can figure out here. So I'm going to do a little bit of numbering here. Okay, so this is 2A. So this is the setup behind me. It's the same kind of thing that you guys will do, but your power circuit will be different. This is the one you guys did, same one you guys did the other day. All we're doing is using a push button to control the light. But on this one, I just want to show you these wire numbers real quick. If I'm going to go through, and I really need to start over because I don't have this hooked up right, but I'm going to take 120 volts from the line side of the fuse, and I'm going to go, F9 is not there, I need to take that out. I'm going to go straight to PB1. Okay, so here's how I'm doing this when I'm wiring this up. And I would get in the habit of doing this if I were you, because if you show me a lab and it doesn't have wire numbers on it, I'm not going to take it. Steve, you guys know Steve, right? Grandpa?
Yeah. Yeah.
When he's teaching this class, if he sees students, if they show him a lab and they don't have wire numbers on them, he cuts them. He takes some dikes and cuts the wires and says, well, I don't know what they are, so like, I won't do that to you guys. I won't come over to your house and cut your wires, but I want you to have wire numbers. So I guess let me hook this one wire up. I'll hook this circuit up on mine first, and then I'll let you guys go to work. So I need to come from the line side of the fuse to PB1. And I've got this hooked up. These push buttons and these pilot lights, kind of like yours, come up to this terminal strip. So I'm going to use the green button for PB1. And I know that that's these brown wires up here. So I need to take 120 from my, you guys have like red and black on your terminal strip. I use blue and white. So this is 120 and this is neutral. So I need a wire number 1 to come from here because this is the line side of the fuse. And I need to take it over to that terminal strip. And when I do this, it's 1 wire at a time, and I hook it up and put the numbers on before I move on. The last thing I'm going to show you is on these little sticker books. I need to switch my cameras, by the way. But if you notice on these, you're going to run out of numbers pretty quickly if you don't do this. But about halfway down this set of numbers is a little perforation. So what I do is I start to peel off like a number 1. Okay, and then you put your fingernail or your finger, it's going to be hard for me to do it and show you, but pretty close to that perforation, and then you can tear it off. Now, especially with your little wires, you're not going to need more than that to put it on your schmear. So I'm going to save that, use it, and I wonder if this would be easier to see if I change cameras. Whoa. All right, so I need a red. I don't know what color wire I gave you guys the other day. In your, you can use whatever color you want as long as it's not the same color as your power circuit. But typically, especially for this class, what we do is we use black for control or power wiring and red for control wiring, so that when I look at your trainer, I can see what's what. And then my 2s are always going to be a white for neutral. Your 2s are always going to be a black. So your 1s are going to be red if you can. If you don't run out of red wire, your 2s are going to be black. And then all your other, everything in between should be, I guess not. Scratch that. Your power circuit needs to be red and black. And your control circuit needs to be any other color you choose, except for white or green. Okay?
All right.
Okay. All right, so what am I doing? Going from 120 to PB1.
You gave me blue 20 gauge though. You didn't give me red or black. I got blue.
What?
I said you gave me blue 22 gauge though. You didn't give me red or black. I got
Okay,
blue.
then use blue. Then use blue for all of your control wiring.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that works.
All right. So I just nipped. I just stripped a little bit of my red control wiring, and I'm going to put a number 1 on it. Put it on there. Wrap it around so you can see my number 1. It's not wanting to focus on it, but push that into the C channel, route it over to PB1, which is my ground button. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh man, I think I got the Rona. Need another one. The other side of that button, I've already actually got a wire in there, but so think of it this way. My green push button has 2 leads on. They're normally open, right? That'd be the same as this wire here and this wire here. And on my trainer, they're brown. So I've got a number 1 going to this side of the button, and the other number is going to be a 3 going to the pilot light, right? And I'll use the green pilot light here on the bottom. I know that that is these blue wires here. So the other side of the button, so the other brown wire then is going to go over, it's just going to be a little jumper wire with the number 3 on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so I got a 1 going from my 120 down to the green push button, the other side of the push button going over to the green light, and then my neutral, which is my 2s. I'm not going to label any of my 2s because I'll run out of 2s in a hurry that way, but I see a white wire and I know that it's a 2. And my 2 from the pilot light is already going back to that white neutral terminal strip. So if I turn this on now, I've done that, I've done that, and I know that is done. So if I turn this on, when I push that green push button, the green light should turn on. Yay! So that's my lab 2A. Now I'm going to put your lab 2A up, which should be basically the same thing. or 2. I guess yours would be 2B.
Or not.
So here's yours. Can you guys see that okay?
Sure.
And I'm going to put, you notice I didn't put the wire numbers on there because I want you guys to figure them out. But I'm going to put all these labs up in on the blackboard so that you guys can look at them, do them on your own time if you want to.
Thank you.
So on days like this, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I may or may not talk to you a little bit at first in the morning, but then they're just going to be lab time. And then technically from 10 to 11, that's my office hours. So I figured if you're going to be here, just hang out. But if you ever have a question or you want to go over something, obviously you can email me and set up a time to talk to me, or just save it for class or between 10 and 11 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm just going to sit here and hang out while you guys do your labs, and you can stick around, do your labs, you can whatever. But you don't really, I guess attendance is optional at that point.
Okay. I had a question for you, if you can hear me.
What's up?
So when you want us to do the push button, is that on the breadboard?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you go through and watch those videos?
I got off of work about 40 minutes ago. I got home. So I've gone through the first one and I've started this. I have to ream the hole out because my proc switch won't fit. And I'm starting to get caught up. Once I get further along, I have to work tonight. So it'll be tomorrow before I can really catch up. Like tomorrow afternoon. If that's not a problem, if it is, I don't know. I'll have to figure
It just
Okay.
So this is the setup that I had, but yeah, those little micro switches fit into your breadboard, and then all the little micro switches that came into your kit are normally open. The one normally closed switch that we have is that red one that's mounted to your switch or your junction box. So this is normally closed. This is normally open.
Okay. And that's the E-stop at the top, right?
Right. So if you already had this setup wired up from last time, which I do because I haven't touched it since then all I got to do is go through and put wire numbers on, right?
Okay.
And then the next lab 3, will be just adding a stop push button in that same circuit.
All right. I found a motor starter kind of thing. Along with my junk, it was on an old Allen Bradley board I had. Mm-hmm. It is 24 volts. But I haven't rung out the breadboard yet to figure out how I'm going to go across that so I don't hit the positive and negative at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'll ring that out. Is there any particular way, any place on the breadboard that you want the motor starter, or do you want us to wait to put it on?
No. I mean, you can use it however you want. Hang on.
Okay.
So when we were doing this in class yesterday, I think all you have to do is with these ones, you just have to span this little channel in the middle.
Okay.
Right? And I don't know what yours is going to look like, but that's all these ones do. And then they're...
Okay. It's essentially the same. Only yours is 12 volts, right?
20, the coil is, yeah. Oh, and that's another thing when we get to that. So we haven't even done this part yet. We haven't hooked up the coil. But if you guys ever want to work ahead, just keep in mind that this is a 12 volt coil and your system is 24. So you have to put a resistor between the 24 positive and the coil to knock it down to 12 volts. And I got that. In your package, I think they're 220 ohm.
Okay. So I'm lucky I found one that's 24 volts then.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I haven't watched the second video yet. Did you wire in the power supply on that after you did the gang box? The like with all the indication lights and the switch and the prox sensor. Did you wire up that later or?
I don't remember which video was which, but yeah, we hooked up all this stuff and ran it over to the terminal strip, and we
Okay.
wired up the power supply over to plus 24 and negative.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what else. Somebody else could help me refresh my memory, but
And then you just swung power out of the bottom of the box right up to the power source, right? The 120 volts. It doesn't. You don't hook or you don't have anything inside the box, do you?
no, you'll see it on the video too. But all it is this CGB, and then
Yeah.
it just goes up and out up to the power supply.
That's what I was doing. I haven't watched it yet, but okay. All right. All right. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm just gonna sit here for the next hour and do this.
That's worth 15 an hour.
I think so.
So we're hooking the resistor up to the normally open side of the.
No, we haven't even done anything with this coil yet. You guys should have your power circuit wired up, which I don't have on yet. I mean, I could do that for you guys, but you should know how to do that.
I've already got my I've got my light hooked up, but I don't have it hooked up to the motor. I don't think. I don't have.
Well, we're not even doing that yet. Remember, in your power circuit, all you're doing is creating a path.
Right.
And then what we'll do eventually when we hook up the coil that's on this relay, when that coil gets energized, it will close these two sets of contacts right here, right? And it will turn the motor on. We haven't even begun to do that yet. That will be probably lab 4 or 5. We're just taking baby steps right now. So this is lab 2, and I got to finish uploading these so you guys can get to them. But
So, Steve, are you inviting everyone for these, so-called biscuits and gravy that you're going to be making? Just thought I'd ask, we threw it out there. I don't know.
So basically, this is all you want right here. You see it?
just a second.
Last time we.
All I can see is the top of your terminal strip.
You see now?
I see you pushing the button. Okay.
So that's all we're doing? So I got my 1. I got it labeled coming from the positive to one end. I got my 2 coming from the negative to the other contact. And that's all we're doing, right?
Yeah, so you should have you should have a number 1 and a number 3.
Why is it number 3?
Your 2 is going to be on the load side of the light.
Okay.
So look, can you see? Hang on. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So what? We know that this is a 1, this is a 2. So any of your black wires going back to the power supply should be a 2. You don't even have to label those, okay? Because anything that's black, if you keep it that way, anything that's black will be a 2. On this rung 2, on the left side of this PB1, what number is that?
That's 1, right?
That's 1, yeah.
Going from the push button to the light, what number is that?
3.
Okay, I got you.
It should be a 3. And on the other side of the light's a 2, and you don't even have to label it. 1, because it's already hooked up,
Surprised that you're saying that.
and 2, because it's if it's black, you know that it's a 2.
It's a negative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
negative.
Negative, so we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't need the resistor yet for the coil. You don't need any of that stuff yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick.
It's a cute town.
All right, I'm going to get caught up on everything as much as I'm going to work for about 30 minutes and I'm going to go to bed, Zach.
All right.
I'll catch up as soon as I can.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
What happened?
Okay, I got it labeled right.
Okay.
So that was it?
You're done with 2. Yeah, the next one would be 3. I can show you that if you want.
Okay.
Does anybody else need lab 2 left on the screen?
Oh no, you're good.
So there's lab 3 for you.
So basically, all I'm doing is taking a push button. Nope, never mind. I'm not taking a push button. The push button's already hooked up. So I'm taking the light and running it to the relay.
What?
So I'm taking the light and running it to the relay.
No. It's the same that you just did. You're just putting a stop push button in there. Everything in there is the same. Right? The only thing you're adding in lab 3 is the stop push button. You see that?
Yeah, I see it.
So where's the stop push button on your trainer?
Is it the red button?
Yeah. Is that normally closed or normally open?
Normally close.
Yep.
I don't remember which wires was the red push button. I know it's not red, blue, or green. The purple was the little blue thing, right? I believe.
Nope.
The blue's the red push button? I mean, the purple's the red push button?
Yep. Can we test that?
Hell yeah.
How can we test it?
I don't know. Hook it into a circuit, I guess.
Tyler, you were pretty excited about it. How can we test it?
Oh man. Well, maybe we can just
Think we
What?
could use one of these?
Oh, you mean a DM? No, of course not.
Yeah. Check it for continuity.
Oh, my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I just realized my DM has a non-contact voltage detector too.
What'd you say?
My DM has a non-contact voltage detector, like those like little Klein look like pins.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just put it right by an outlet and it just starts beeping.
Can you guys hear this?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to test this button. Nothing. It's not doing anything.
Well, I heard something.
Not good. Not good. There we go. Hear that? I got a tone on there without pushing the button. What does that tell you?
Continuity. It's getting signal.
It means it's electrically continuous, right?
Yep.
Right now, it's continuous from this purple wire going into the button, coming back out of the other purple, or on the other purple wire. Why am I getting tones sometimes? but not the other time? Watch, I'm going to push a button. You ready? I push the button, the tone goes away. It means it breaks open the circuit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a normally closed button. When I push it, it opens.
I got you. Mine's doing it. Okay. All right, that works. Appreciate it, because I sure was lost. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. That would be number 3 as well.
Wire number?
Yeah, wouldn't that would be number 3 as well. Was coming from 1.
Well, look at this ladder and forget about any numbers that you had before. Just go through and tell me what they are. So right here, what is this?
That's a 1.
That's a 1. What is this?
That's a 2.
That's a 2. What is this?
That would be a 3.
Yep. What is this?
That would be a 3.
Nope.
That's a 4. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If this wire right here, number 3, is energized, does that mean that this wire has to be on too? They're on
No.
different potentials. This one won't energize until you push that start button, right?
Right.
This is 4. Right now, I'm just trying to get caught up on this trainer with you guys. So I'm still hooking up my power circuit. Who's that?
So that means I gotta change the number on my light then?
Yeah, isn't it a bummer?
God damn it.
Who was that?
Alright, so all I'm seeing is a wire going from the stop push button to the start push button. But I don't know what's supposed to, like, mine's not, I don't know what mine is supposed to be doing. So I got wired.
So you have plus 24, which is coming off your red. Where's it
Yeah.
going first? To the stop button?
Oh, it's not. Nope, 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 it's not. It's not.
So you need, this is the first wire, number 1.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I did something wrong. Okay. Okay, I got it. I think. What the hell is that? God damn.
Justin, you need to change the battery on your smoke detector.
Probably.
So when you're all done, this is what your trainer should do. Push the green button, it's normally open. It will close the circuit. But if you ever push the stop button, that will kill the circuit, right? Because the stop button opens the circuit. Why is it? There we go. Stop button will open the circuit. Right? Green button
Okay.
closes the circuit. Stop button opens the circuit. And I'm going to try to use yellow for all my control wiring. Just so you know.
All right, I got mine working. Let's see. Can you see me?
Yep. Good job. You got all your numbers right, looks like.
Yeah, I got one going from the power to the stop button. I got 3 coming from the stop button to the start button. And I got 4 coming from the negative end of the stop button to the light. Well, not negative end, but the second contact.
Sweet.
That wasn't too painful.
No.
I tell you what, these are a lot easier to understand than when I was doing the labs. What was that? Solid state. Those labs were hard as shit.
Yeah, I bet.
Like them damn labs. I don't even know what I did the whole time. I don't know none of that stuff I did. Those questions, I couldn't answer those questions. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I was hooking the circuit up, but it was so complicated. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Important thing about solid state is to know how things are going to behave when you hook them up.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not even gonna lie. I just knew I was following the schematic, and that was about all I was doing. I couldn't answer those questions. I didn't know what I was doing. That was pretty rough. But that's it for today.
That'd be it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and take off so I can go take my dog out. He's probably crying.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
See you later, man.